Welcome, seekers of wisdom, to Stoic Sorcery, Comic Insights. Today, we unveil one of the most potent tools in the arsenal of the Stoic Sorcerer, the Cloak of Perspective. A magical garment, not stitched with physical threads, but with profound understanding and clarity. This cloak has the power to shield us from emotional turbulence and reveal the hidden layers of reality. At its essence, perspective is not just a passive observation. It's an active choice, a deliberate reframing of events and circumstances. Imagine you're standing in the rain. Without perspective, you'd simply feel the cold droplets on your skin, experiencing discomfort. But with the cloak of perspective, you might see the rain as a symbol of renewal, as nature's nourishment, or even as a moment of poetic beauty. The Stoics knew that life is not about what happens to us, but how we interpret those events. Epictetus famously said, "Men are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." Let that sink in. This means our world is shaped more by our thoughts than by the things themselves. But how, you may ask, do we craft our own cloak of perspective? Well, we turn to the three key threads: distance, time, and meaning. Each thread, carefully woven into our mental fabric, transforms our perception. First, let us tackle the thread of distance. It's the art of stepping back. Picture an artist gazing at their canvas. When they stand too close, the mess of brushstrokes can seem chaotic and unappealing. But when they step back, the entire picture emerges, revealing coherence and purpose. Similarly, in life, when you are entangled in a problem, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But by metaphorically stepping back, by viewing yourself as an observer, or even imagining advice you would give a friend facing your situation, the chaos finds clarity. Next, there is the thread of time. Time is like an artist sculpting a block of marble. With enough patience and hindsight, it chisels away the rough edges, revealing underlying truths. Ask yourself, how might this issue look next week, next year, a decade from now? Often, what feels insurmountable in the present moment becomes a mere footnote in the grand narrative of your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe how transient and insignificant all mortal things are." Keep this in mind. Is the perceived catastrophe today really significant in the cosmic arc of history? And then, there's the most vibrant and crucial thread, the thread of meaning. Humans are meaning-making creatures. The mind does not merely interpret reality, it imbues it with meaning. Have you ever faced a challenge that seemed like nothing but suffering at first, only to look back later and realize it taught you resilience or strength? Viktor Frankl, who endured life in a Nazi concentration camp, said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." By assigning meaning to our struggles, we turn them into stepping stones for growth. When these three threads are brought together, they transform into the majestic cloak of perspective. But remember, crafting this cloak is not a one-time endeavor. It's a lifelong practice, a constant weaving and mending of our mental patterns. Think of it as a form of magical tailoring. It requires effort, intention, and practice. Now, let's pair these philosophical insights with a practical exercise. Next time you find yourself in a difficult situation, try this. Start by taking 3 deep breaths. Then, close your eyes and reflect on distance. Imagine floating above your current self, looking down from the perspective of the sky. Next, integrate time. Picture your future self a year from now. What advice would they give you? And finally, consider meaning. Ask yourself, how can this situation serve as a lesson or an opportunity for growth? These simple steps can bring clarity and calmness, empowering you to don the cloak of perspective in the thick of life's challenges. But what of the temptation to dwell in negativity, to see the challenges as only burdens? This is where the wisdom of the Stoic Sorcerer truly shines. Remember, the cloak of perspective doesn't erase hardship, it transforms it. It doesn't deny suffering, it seeks wisdom within it. Enduring challenges through the lens of perspective allows us to maintain dignity, courage, and gratitude even in the storms of life. To strengthen your cloak, let's explore examples from history. Think of Galileo Galilei. When forced under house arrest for his belief in heliocentrism, he might have been crushed by despair. But through his cloak of perspective, he found an opportunity to refine his work and deeply contemplate the cosmos. Or consider J.K. Rowling, who turned her struggles as a single mother into a wellspring of creativity, authoring books that have inspired millions. These figures remind us that perspective is not merely a tool, it's the lens through which extraordinary lives are forged. And let us not forget our Stoic ideals. Marcus Aurelius, as a Roman emperor, faced wars, personal tragedies, and plagues. Yet his Stoic writings radiate a sense of calm and firm resolve. His cloak of perspective allowed him to find purpose amid tumult and wisdom amid suffering. Take a moment and reflect. How often do we react to life as though our immediate perspective is absolute? How often do we allow surface-level interpretations to drown out deeper truths? By weaving our cloak over time, we untangle the illusions and weave clarity where there once was confusion. Now, dear sorcerers in training, I must emphasize, do not confuse the cloak of perspective with detachment or apathy. It is not about turning a blind eye to injustice or dismissing emotions. Rather, it's about engaging with life more effectively. With perspective, you react not from impulse, but from wisdom. You act not out of fear, but out of understanding. I challenge you to embrace this practice. Start small. Reframe an annoyance today into an opportunity for patience. See a failure as a lesson. Transform what feels like rejection into a chance for redirection. Let your cloak of perspective shield your inner peace and guide you toward a clearer path forward.